Notable new cards for Tiny Leaders Reborn in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, our first of 4 Universes Beyond sets this year. Full transparency, I'm not looking forward to any of them. I'm a big Vorthos, and any UB set is not going to make me particularly excited. Save a Cosmere set. For TMNT in particular, well, let's just say I'm not particularly enthused. But that won't stop me from looking at the mechanical value of the set and assessing it from a purely gameplay perspective. So let's get into the set. Overall, the set was okay. There were some interesting cards, a few nice to haves, but nothing game-changing meta-wise. Of course, time will tell, but none of the cards I'll be covering are anything crazy. That said, let's get into it. Honorable mentions. This set was a big one for mono black enjoyers, including some interesting commanders that could be fun to build around. However, the card that makes our list for an honorable mention is Shredder's Technique. This card is now the 3rd black card in all of Magic that can destroy enchantments, and is also tiny legal. While it's a very mediocre card for its full price, being similar to the previously printed Withering Torment, it's actually quite a solid card if you can use its sneak cost. While I'm not sure it will beat out Feed the Swarm in the sideboard of black decks that aren't in white or green, I could see it living alongside it in decks that really want to get rid of enchantments. The second honorable mention is quite a promising card, but it doesn't have a good competitive home just yet. Continue is a new way to dodge wraths while triggering the ETBs of many of your creatures. It can also be quite solid inclusion in an Aristocrat's game plan, where you aren't relying on your opponent to kill the creatures for you. The only problem is that most decks would rather run proper flicker spells that they could trigger reliably, or something like Flawless Maneuver if they're scared of board wipes. I think it's a solid card, just one that doesn't have a good home yet. Number 5, Fugitive Droid. Fugitive Droid is a neat new card for quite a few artifact decks, acting as a side grade to Siren Stormtaper, with a few notable differences. While Fugitive Droid only counters spells and not abilities, being able to protect artifacts as well as being an artifact itself is a very impactful difference for many decks. Plus, if you really want to have 2 of these effects, you certainly can. I think the most impactful deck for this is Curie, as the unblockability allows this card to be a solid target for any scissors-style effects, as well as acting as protection for valuable pieces of the deck. Number 4, Michelangelo, Weirdness 211. Of the cards in the top 5, this is probably the most restrictive in terms of decks it slots into. Michelangelo is one of the stronger Hardened Scales type effects in the format. Obviously, Hardened Scales is the most efficient, but Mikey is certainly up there. Creating a mutagen token is no joke, especially when it adds 2 counters for just 1 mana. The deck that will most benefit from this card will absolutely be Marath, but there are others that will doubtlessly benefit from it. If you want another Scales effect, I would definitely consider running Michelangelo. Number 3, Double Jump and Flying Kick. Yes, this card is legal in TLR. I won't go into it too much, as I have a whole Tiny Talk episode dedicated to it, but it is. Couldn't include this card without pointing that out, though. That out of the way, I think this card has a lot of potential. Each mode is solid on its own, but the modality of the card is what gives it strength. It could be a 2-mana situational kill spell, a 2-mana deal 5 to a player, or a 4-mana deal 5 to a creature and 5 to the player. This card is a strong pick for many Izzet decks, with the 2 decks I can best think of being used in is Spider-Man 2099 and especially Vivi Ornitier. It's certainly an interesting card to keep an eye on. Number 2, Death in the Family. This is, at least for the purposes of TLR, a functional reprint of another card in the format, Anoint with Affliction. Anoint, being a 2-mana exile spell, is a well-used card already in Tiny, and plenty of decks wouldn't mind having an additional copy of it. Just about any mono-black deck is likely to play it, but as long as you're in black but not white, I could see having an extra copy. Number 1, Super Shredder. Of course this is number 1. This 2-drop gets out of hand fast, as fetches, removal, bounce effects, exile effects, or just about any form of direct interaction will grow this, no matter whose battlefield is being targeted. And the fact that it has Menace is just the icing on the cake. I can see this being included in Yuriko and Jirina, as both of their preferred subtypes are seen on this card. However, just about any black deck could run it, so long as they have the slots. So, what do you think? Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see me and my friend Nushio review all Tiny Legal TMNT cards, make sure to check out this video. And as always, stay tiny.